Hi, welcome to Math Freak channel. Today we're going to talk about how to add simple fractional numbers. I know usually people are good at adding whole numbers, but when it comes down to fractional numbers, people get a little bit hesitant about it. So the way to solve this type of problem is to come up with common denominator. And by denominator, what I mean is that the bottom number as well as the top number, it's called the numerator. So in order to solve it, you're going to find a common denominator, and to do that you're going to multiply these two numbers together. So if you multiply those two numbers together, you're going to get 14. 14. And then similarly you're going to come up here and then multiply this number by its diagonal denominator, which is a 7. So 1 times 7 is 7. And then similarly, you're going to multiply this 4 by its diagonal denominator, which is 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. And since we have a common denominator now, you can add the numerator, and that's how you get your final answer. So 7 plus 8 is 15. And at the bottom is your 14. This would be your final answer. This is the easiest method to solve this type of fractional addition problems. So now we move on to our second example. In this example, it's similar to the previous one except for it has mixed numbers. So it has a whole number, which is your 2, plus your fractional 3/4. So this problem is no different than the other one, or you can treat it as no different than the other one, except for some people might think like, how do you solve this? But you can really turn this whole number into a fraction as well. And the way the trick is here is that you don't usually, when you have a full whole number, you don't write the denominator underneath, because it's simply just 1. So 2 over 1, 2 divided by 1 is always going to be 2. So that's why people don't write it, but you can turn it into a fractional problem, and then you can use the same method as you saw in the last problem to solve it. So really the common denominator here is just your 4, because if you're going to multiply these two together, it's gonna be just end up being 4. So I'm gonna write that here. So your common denominator is 4, and then now you're going to multiply this 1 by its diagonal numerator, which is 3 times 1. Sorry, 3 times 1 is 3. And then this number, you're going to multiply this by its diagonal numerator, which is 4 times 2 times 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, so 2 times 4, so which is 8. So you're going to put that 8 here, and then 3 plus 8 is 11, and divide by 4. So this is your final answer for this mixed number. Now we will move on to even a different problem. This problem, instead of addition, this is going to be a subtraction problem. You follow a similar type of method. Um, even to solve the subtraction problem, it's just you just you would just need to pay attention to the sign. So just like the other problems, we would need to first find a denominator. In this case, you have 4 times 2 would be 8. Here I will show you a little easy trick before you even start these type of problems. So to make your problem go by fast, what I usually do if I'm solving a fractional problem is that I will look up the denominator of the first term, and then I will put this towards your right, because this is what you're going to be multiplying by to getting your final answer. And then similarly, you're going to look at your second term denominator and multiply this by both top and bottom by it. So just makes your problem solving skills a little bit faster. So I'm going to see that 2 times 3 is 6, and then 2 times 4 is 8, sorry, and then minus, because we have a minus sign here, 4 times 1 is 4, and then 2 times 4 is 8. So now that you have a common denominator, you can subtract 6 from 4, so you have 2, and then over 8. Now, you can even simplify this problem even further. Some people might tend to stop right there, but you can see that this is further divisible. So you can divide this by 2 because 2 is common in both terms. So this would become 1, and then if we divide this by 2, it would become 4. So your final answer would be 1/4. So just like I was saying in the previous problem, is that if you don't, in subtraction problems, if you don't pay attention to the sign, you will end up getting a wrong answer, and this problem shows that. So I will start solving this, and just like I showed you a little trick from the previous problem, is that as soon as I see a fractional problems like this, I would multiply top and bottom. I will look at the denominator in the first term and multiply that by the second term, both top and bottom. So it's just going to be 4. Similarly, I will look at the second term denominator and multiply this by the first term, 8. It's an 8. So it's an 8. So now you have 8 times 1 is 8. In the bottom, you will have 8 times 4, 32, minus, because you have a minus sign here, minus 5 times 4 is 20, and 8 times 4 again is 32. So at this point, if you had not paid attention, and if you, instead of subtracting it, if you had added it, you will get this problem wrong. So 8 minus 20 will be negative 12, and the 32 will get carried over. And then just like I was saying, that this problem will be even further divisible because it has a common number that you can still take out, that will divide both the terms. So 2, yeah, you can use 2, but then 2 would not fully simplify this. 3 doesn't go into 32. 4 does go into both terms. So if we divide 12 by 4, it's going to be 3, and then 4 also goes into 32. 8 times 4 is 32, so it will be 8. So your final answer will be negative 3 over 8, and this would be your final answer. So I hope this tutorial for this simple fractional addition subtraction problem helps you, and if it helps you, please like our channel, subscribe it, and please leave comments so we can make this channel even better. Thank you so much. Bye.